We all love programming. But there comes a time when there is a problem we face. One of those problems could be a syntax error or a logic error. But sometimes it could be that you need 2 or more things running simultaneously, and you may not know how to do that. Well, here I am with a solution. They're called processes. Processes run simultaneously, which means you can have the code running and then a process running. 2 things running at once. So how do we use these processes? Well, like everything else, we type process, then the name of our process, then any parameters we might need. Then to end our process, we type end and then a name. Now don't get the word PROC confused with process. PROC is a short form for procedures. If you get that mixed up, you will lead to errors. So to run a process, you use the keyword fork and then the name of the process. So if I run this, as you will see, both processes are running at the same time. Now let's say I want a parameter. So, like procedures and functions, you put in brackets after the name of the process all of your parameters that you need. Now, there is a limitation to this too. You cannot have variable parameters, which means processes cannot change the value of the variables entered. In procedures, I talked about how if you want to change the value of the variables entered in, you put var before the parameter declaration. But this doesn't work for processes. Another thing with processes that can make people upset or can make programming a little bit more difficult. Because you have a process running and then your main program running, you could lead to some variable changes in the program. And these variables could be the same that are used in the processes. Whenever you're running a process with a variable, if that variable changes, it changes in the process too. And as you see, it changes. Now, processes may sound like a gift from God, or it may sound like the perfect programming concept. You may say, oh, why am I using procedures? I don't need them. Well, I've heard about a problem that could be an extreme issue with programs. They run randomly, which means if you had a process like I had, where it does something, then it delays for a short period of time. Since 2 things are running at the same time, the process may be delayed, which means it can run slower than the delayed time. This isn't good. If you have a video game and that starts happening, well, you can mess up your game. It's a limitation. That's why usually processes are used for music. They're not really used for calculations. So if you have a different opinion or if you have a different experience in this, why don't you go leave it in the comments below. So that is the wonderful process. So thank you guys for watching this tutorial. If you liked, you can subscribe to my channel. This is Ogini Supreme logging off.